Hey, Dad! I have a quick announcement to make. Do you have a minute? Here it is. I'm getting married.
Wow, really? That's great news. I didn't even know you had a girlfriend.
Of course I do. At this age, I better have at least one girlfriend. Anyway, she and I have decided to tie the knot. We're perfect for each other.
Well, that's great. Congratulations, son. I'm really happy for you. You have to bring her to the house sometime and introduce us. We'll get your sister over here too, and we can all go out for dinner together. How does that sound?
Yeah, about that. I don't think I'll be bringing her over to the house. I don't plan on introducing you to her, to be honest. We're just gonna go and do it at City Hall.
Huh? Why are you doing it that way? Why wouldn't you introduce us? Are you ashamed of me or something? I'm not gonna tell you how to get married, son, but I feel like I need to say something here. It's a bit weird not to introduce your bride to your family. It'll probably also cause some issues later if you don't.
It'll cause issues? For who? You? Is that because you're gonna have an issue if you can't steal my girlfriend from me?
What are you trying to say to me? What's that supposed to mean?
Dad, we all know that you're the kind of guy who has no problem stealing women from other guys. I know your history. So who's to say that you wouldn't try to do the same to me? After all, you did it to my dad. Plus, there's the fact that you and I aren't actually blood relations.
What are you talking about? We're family as far as I'm concerned. And I've never done any such thing.
Of course you did. That's what happened when you and Mom got married. I know what happened there. She was your friend's wife first, wasn't she? And that friend was my real dad. Dad got sick and passed away, and you married Mom right after that. Is that not true? I know the truth. It looks like you were just waiting for him to go so you could scoop her up. The whole time he was trying to fight off that sickness, I bet you just wanted him gone, didn't you?
What are you even talking about? That's not what happened at all. And I never wished for anything like that. Your dad was my best friend. Do you have any idea how heartbroken we all were when your dad passed?
That really doesn't sound very convincing coming from you. After all, you did snag my mom immediately once Dad was gone. And then Mom died in that car crash not long after marrying you. What a coincidence, huh? That's how we ended up living with you. That was the chain of events. It's all a matter of record. Which brings us to today. Right now. Right here. At any rate, I'm leaving home as soon as I'm married.
Well, if you want to get out of this house, by all means do what you need to do. Your life is your life, and you have to live it. Far be it from me to tell you what to do or not do with it. But I'm definitely not letting you leave without correcting your misunderstanding of what happened with your mom, your dad, and me. For starters, I didn't have my eye on your mom, and I wasn't scheming to get her while your dad was sick, Chuck. You need to know that.
I don't want to hear whatever your excuse is for what you did back then. It's plain as day what went on. You can dress it up and try to make it pretty all you want. But the fact of the matter is that you married your best friend's wife. I've been hating you for that my entire life. And now it's time to finally say it to you. Right here, right now.
Chuck, you can't possibly mean all that. That's just beyond wrong.
I don't want anything from you anymore, ever. We're through. And once I'm married, I'll have nothing to do with you. And if you try to take my girlfriend from me, there will be consequences. I promise you that.
Dad, you okay? What's going on? I just talked to Chuck and he told me about his engagement and everything. And then he told me that he's freezing you out. He said he wants nothing more to do with you. What happened? Did you two have an argument? What about? Please fill me in.
Well, an argument would have been better than what just happened between him and me. What actually happened was a one-way conversation with him telling me that he wants me out of his life forever.
What on earth happened? What's this all about? I don't get it.
He says he hates me. Can you imagine that? I mean, secretly being angry about something after all this time. He told me I'm a lowlife for stealing another man's wife. He's talking about your mom, your dad, and me.
No way. He's still stuck on that whole story? I thought we cleared the air about that years ago.
Back when he was in junior high, he used to harp on that a lot and use it as an excuse to rebel against me. Remember? I hadn't heard anything about it from him since back then, but apparently that wasn't the end of it for him. I thought I'd addressed the issue and corrected his misunderstanding of the situation once and for all, but now it seems that he never let it go.
Wow. I really can't believe him. You've taken good care of both him and me for so long. He's really got some nerve accusing you of that after all you've done for us. I mean, how does he think we'd have gotten along without you all these years? We would have been out on the street.
I've worked so hard all this time raising you kids and making sure you have what you need to live a good life. I never thought I'd end up being hated like this by one of you. Never in a million years.
And not just that. He took 8 years to finish college. And all that time you were paying for his tuition and his books. Not to mention giving him spending money. How can he possibly decide he wants nothing to do with you after all that? It's just not right.
I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head right now, to be honest. I feel like maybe he and I have never communicated enough, and I should just hold my tongue and give him some space now. As two guys, I thought we understood each other without having to talk so much about everything. You and we talked a lot about this stuff before. But maybe I was too distant with him, and now I'm reaping what I sowed by being that way. I just don't know.
What do you mean, Dad? Stop it. You haven't done a thing wrong. Not one thing. In fact, you've done more right than anyone could have expected you to. Whatever distance you might have been putting between you and us was for our own good, right? I know that. We were part of the package when you married Mom, and you've always taken good care of us. Really good care. Keeping a reasonable distance from us and from the past was the right thing to do, and I've always felt comfortable with it. I'll never understand why Chuck doesn't.
Thanks, Connie. It means a lot to hear you say that.
I mean, what a waste of a relationship it is for Chuck to say what he's saying. Honestly, it's just so ungrateful. I'm really disappointed in him. In fact, the more I think about it, the angrier I'm getting.
Thanks for seeing my side of it, Connie. It means a lot to me. And thanks, too, for caring enough to get angry about it. You've taken some of that burden off my shoulders as well. But please don't stew about it, okay? Because we know where that leads.
I don't know. For now, let's just hope Chuck's fiancée is a nice girl who has her head on straight. If she is, hopefully she can talk some sense into him about this stuff. He definitely needs someone to show him how stupid it is for him to be taking this attitude towards the man who raised us.
It'd be great if she's that kind of girl. Let's cross our fingers for that. Although, I have a feeling that she's already hearing a lot of bad stuff from him about me.
Yeah, almost certainly. I hate to say it, but...
Well, he doesn't need me raising him and looking after him anymore, obviously. He's made that clear.
If they're gonna go ahead and have a wedding celebration and not invite me, you can go in my place, Connie. And I want you to celebrate and wish them happiness for me, too. And we can give them a gift that's from the both of us, if you're okay with that.
Hello! I am very pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Rhonda, and I recently married Chuck. And you are George, the man who raised Chuck. Is that correct?
Yes. Very nice to meet you, too, Rhonda. I am indeed Chuck's father, George. I hope to get to know you more. I wasn't expecting the pleasure of directly speaking with you, Rhonda. This really is a nice surprise.
Yes, I got your number from him. I really wanted to speak with you, at least once. There are some things that I need to let you know about.
Oh, what things?
I've heard a lot about you from Chuck. He told me the whole story. About how you stole your friend's wife, and that you never gave any love or affection to her children, Chuck and Connie.
Wow, you're really hitting me with it all at once and right off the bat too, Rhonda. So please allow me to respond. First off, I gave plenty of love and affection to both Chuck and Connie, and I raised them the best I could. I imagine you've heard a lot of negative things about me from Chuck, though. However, those things are largely his misapprehensions about things that happened in the past. See, he thinks he knows more than he actually does about those things.
Oh, really? If all of that is just misunderstandings, why haven't you given us a wedding gift? Our wedding was today and there was nothing from you. Is that how you treat someone with love and affection?
What? The wedding was today. That's the first I've heard about it. Nobody told me or invited me, so how could I know about it? But even if I'd known about the wedding, I wouldn't have been able to buy a gift. Chuck told me to stay away from him, you see.
If you really love those kids, you should have been able to come up with something. Even if you weren't invited.
What? How do you figure?
That's right. You weren't invited because those were his wishes and I respected them. But, as his dad, you really are supposed to be able to find out about what's going on with your son somehow. I mean, normally that's the case. And then you'd send a gift, even if you had to do it in secret. You really should have come and at least given a gift. It's the least you could have done.
So, you're saying that I should have done my own research and found out information that intentionally wasn't given to me?
Yes, that's what a loving father would do, in my opinion. But you didn't do any of that. You didn't even try. The only reason you could act that way is if you didn't love Chuck as you claimed to.
That's a very presumptuous accusation you're making, young lady. Obviously, I wanted to celebrate your wedding with you and give a gift. But Chuck didn't want me there, and I didn't get an invitation, as you yourself stated. So, for you to blame me for this situation is unreasonable, to say the least.
Are you now getting angry instead of apologizing? That's a sign of a really bad father, you know.
Excuse me. What did you just say to me?
I can't blame Chuck for not wanting to be involved with you. I wouldn't either. And actually, we're moving into our new home today to start our new life together. But we will absolutely not be giving you the address. Again, that is Chuck's wish.
So I wasn't invited to the wedding, and you aren't gonna tell me where you live. It really looks like you want to thoroughly cut me off from your lives.
That is correct. We want nothing to do with a nasty old man like you. One who would marry his best friend's wife as soon as he died.
Nasty old man. Now, listen here, young lady.
At any rate, adoptive step-parents are really just fake parents in the end. And Chuck has no need for that in his life anymore. So, after this, please don't bother us anymore. Ever. And of course, don't look for help from us in your old age.
So, let me get this straight right now. All of this that you're saying to me now is what you and Chuck have decided together as a couple.
Of course. This is our consensus as man and wife. Chuck will be deleting your contact information from his phone and you from his life.
I see.
Going forward, we will not be giving out our information to fake family anymore. Ever. You are not family. You are nothing but a stranger to us.
Fine. If that's the case, I'll just have to leave my company in Connie's care.
What was that? Your company?
And I'll follow your and Chuck's wishes. You will not hear from me ever again. The company and all my assets will go to Connie. I'll arrange for all that right away. Thanks so much for getting in touch on these matters. It's good to know exactly where I stand. You've allowed me to get things in order in advance, and that'll help things go more smoothly.
Wait, hang on a second. What's this company that you're referring to? And what do you mean by everything goes to Connie?
Yeah. It's on a small scale, but I am actually running a company, and I have been for many years. I was thinking that Chuck would be the one to continue the business, but now it's clear that he doesn't want to be involved with me, so it'll have to be Connie.
Oh, wait. This is the first I've heard of this. What's this company that you're running?
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 30 years now. Since before all the events that Chuck told you about, actually. It's small and I only have about 30 employees, but it's a solid little company. In fact, last year our profits were over $3 million. So I plan to keep it going like that, barring any disruptions.
Over 3 million? You're making that much?
I've always planned to have one of the kids take it over when the time comes. And when it does, I wanted it to be something worth continuing. You know, worth it for the kids to be a part of if they want to. So I've given it my all and worked really hard for a long time. In fact, last year, I was able to give all my employees a substantial bonus. I hope to be able to do that every year.
You don't say. I had no idea you were running such a successful business. Chuck's sitting right here and he says he's shocked too. He says he had no idea you've been running a company all this time.
Yeah, well, you can't expect kids to understand their parents' work. It's beyond them and of no interest to them most of the time. But I gotta say, the fact that he didn't know any of this, it does seem to say that he never really cared much about me or was interested in me.
What do you mean?
I mean this. I don't care if he cuts all contact with me. I have plenty saved up for retirement, and I'll be fine on my own, so rest assured on that. Please let him know all that.
Please, wait a moment. I feel like I've been misunderstanding something all along here. Can we have lunch or something sometime soon?
Chuck wants to cut me out of his life, and you're inviting me to lunch? That doesn't feel right to me.
I mean, the truth is that I really have been wanting to meet you, George. Even if you're not his real father. You did raise him, after all. Chuck is such a great guy. And I've been wanting to meet the man who raised him up to be so great.
Nah, just meeting me would be a waste of your time. Any father who's raised an ungrateful idiot like Chuck isn't a father worth meeting.
No, don't say that.
Anyway, please take good care of him. I won't ever have the chance to meet you, Rhonda, but I hope you and Chuck are very happy together and that you can build a happy home together. Hey, you! What's up with you running a business? And with profits over 3 million? Why have I never heard anything about it? You've done a good job of hiding all that from me, for sure. I've never been hiding it from you or anyone else. I've always been open and above board about it. If you never knew anything about it, it was because you never took any interest in my work.
Are you blaming me for this?
As much as you apparently hate me. The fact that you know absolutely nothing about my work. You never lacked for anything growing up. Not money, not education, nothing. Did you never once wonder what I did for a living that let you live so comfortably?
Of course not. Why would I?
I mean, I did see that you were giving Connie and me a good life and a comfortable home, but
I thought you were doing that with inheritance money from Mom.
Inheritance? Are you joking?
How could I possibly have known that you were running a company?
Were you totally unable to just think calmly about things? Your real dad died in his 20s. Then your mom died in her 30s. Nobody dies at those young ages and leaves an inheritance big enough to live the way we always have.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And another thing. Your dad was a nice guy. He was too nice, in fact. So nice that he co-signed loans for people when he shouldn't have. And because of that, he died with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes, really. And then your mom had to try to raise the two of you while paying that money back. I couldn't just sit there and watch all that without trying to help. So I married her. It was the best way that I could help her, and help you and your sister. When I started my company, your dad lent me a lot of money. It was a few $100,000. That's the kind of guy he was. Me marrying your mom was my way of paying him back even though he was gone.
So, you really weren't just waiting for my dad to die so you could get her? And you didn't slither in and take advantage of a grieving widow?
No, I most certainly did not. Your mom and I weren't in love, but we had something important. Call it friendship, call it familial love, call it what you want. But it was something special and priceless. It was a special bond that connected us.
Wow.
And we enjoyed being together in that way, with that special bond. It was all we needed. Yeah, we thought we'd stay together forever, even when you kids moved out and moved on. Who knew that she'd end up going the way she did? In that damn car crash. Even now, thinking about that day makes me feel sick to my stomach. What a nightmare.
Oh my god. So I've had it all wrong all this time? I've been hating you for doing something that you really didn't do?
Yeah, but it's a bit late to mend fences now. Even ones that are all in your head. That ship has sailed, I'm afraid. I, for one, can't have the relationship with you that we once had. Too much has been said and done lately for that to ever be possible again. So you better go ahead and delete me from your contacts like you plan to.
What? No!
Take care, Chuck. Be good and be well. Your folks are up in heaven watching you, so make them proud. Be the man that they know you can be.
You made Connie vice president? Is that true? I just heard.
Yep. She took over just last week. She's the one who's gonna take this company into the future, so she's gotta learn everything and get up to speed. She's been getting to know all the employees and my business associates too. She's a natural communicator. She definitely has a gift.
You need to reconsider this decision right away. Please! I mean, the situation almost always means that the eldest son will take over. Pushing Chuck aside and letting Connie take the reins is a real problem.
Pushing him aside. He's the one who decided that we won't be in contact anymore.
If that's the issue, then all he needs to do is take that back, right? Please mend fences with him ASAP. Just be sincere. Ask him for forgiveness, and ask him to take over.
Excuse me.
He wants to mend fences with you two. I'm his wife. I know he does. He feels bad and can't reach out to you, but I know that in his heart he's changed his mind and he doesn't want to lose you. I'll act as a mediator for you two and make it work. So let's please forget about cutting contact with each other.
No, thanks. I really don't want to see his face again.
Don't say that!
What's done is done, and can't be undone. Ever heard that saying? It's from Shakespeare. It means there's no going back.
No, please don't say that. Even without an actual blood connection, you raised him up from a little kid into a man. Hey, how about this? Come over to our place and have dinner with us. We can all talk and get this whole mess straightened out.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. That new place of yours. Sorry, but you're gonna have to move out. I actually am the owner of that building.
What? Really?
The property manager just called me and told me you guys have to move. I never thought you'd be the ones living there.
So, this place is actually your property?
Yeah. I bought it thinking that it'd be a place for me to live in later. You know, after the kids are grown and I'm retired. I bought it quietly and didn't really mention it to anyone.
And that's this place where we're living?
Yeah. And the way things are now, it wouldn't be right for you two to be living there. I mean, the son who froze his father out of his life still living in a property that his dad owns. That's just wrong on so many levels. So you have to move. But don't worry, I'll make sure you get your deposit back.
This can't be happening. Nobody told me this could happen. We spent so much time and energy looking for a good place. And I love everything about it. The color, the location, the layout. It's all so great.
But unfortunately, we're done, and I'm frozen out. You've both told me so, and not to ever contact you again. So there's nothing more to say or do about it. So, good luck with everything, and please do get that move done ASAP. Thanks. A few days later, the two of them had moved out without making any trouble for anyone. Rhonda was apparently ready to be stubborn and try to just squat there indefinitely. But Chuck had too much pride for that and had all their bags packed in short order. He was ready to move on, it seems. I hear they moved into another apartment, somewhat similar to the old one, but Rhonda refused to let up on things, constantly admonishing him to make amends with his dad and make her a company owner's wife. Chuck's reply: "A man has his pride. I'm not crawling back to him on my knees. No way." They have the same argument pretty much every day, I hear. And I'm told that their honeymoon went pretty much the same way. A complete disaster. As for Connie, my new vice president, her job performance has exceeded all my expectations, and her work is going very, very well. And my choosing the second in line turned out to be a very, very good decision.